Hey, if you're a player, don't watch this video because I'm about to spoil an Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea adventure for you. But I will let you know that the adventure is awesome. Great art, great loot, great creatures, great story. It's going to be a lot of fun for you. So don't watch this video. So here we go. Here's the adventure here. You've seen from the title, it's called The Beasts of Kraggoth Manor. It's by Tim Callahan. It's about 50-some pages. There's the back. It has your normal range of pretty much staple Northwind Adventures artists in it, and of course that great layout that you come to expect from Jeff Talanian and his crew, which are just doing a smash-up job. And that's a video. This adventure did come out earlier, a couple years ago, and I should have done a video then, but I was just slacking. It passed me by. So let's take a look, a more in-depth look, and see what we've got going for it. Here's the cover. Love the colors, and it's definitely obviously something that happens in the adventure, so that's good that it represents that. And it's just a bold cover, and I mean I like the colors. It really helps it a lot when you grab it, you know. So this adventure is going to have a nice timeline to tell you what's happened in the past, and that's very helpful. But to reinforce that, here's something that's very cool. There's like a comic strip type thing that shows you the backstory, which I love this. I mean, this is just, it helps give a visual to it. And the story pretty much goes like this. There was a kind of like an alien steel cylinder that fell from space to Hyperborea, smashed into this mound here. You can see at the top, and then years later, a guy tried to make a fortress there, and he had a bunch of workers and stuff. And while they were building the fortress, these men of ash and coal kind of came up and wrecked them. I mean, they got dealt with. You can see in the middle of the art there, just dealt with those people, tossed them around, and they were brutalized, obviously. And so years later, another guy decides to build his kind of his family estate, his manor, Kraggoth Manor there, and he builds it right on the same site. And it's just great. I love the way this is presented, and anybody that wants to do this, I think this is a smart way to do it, because you've just read it and now you can kind of see it. So unfortunately, his daughter died from some great kind of malady, and his descendants live in that house continually. But this guy here with the googly eyes, he pretty much is an evil turd, and he killed his parents, and he looked into ancient, tomes and stuff like that the family collected. And overall, just an unpleasant guy. Well, you can see in the middle of the screen there, that man and woman, which you'll see here. There they are, but slightly changed. They go and check out the manor. They're like, ooh, there could be some good stuff in there, so let's go check it out. Well, they find that guy, the googly-eyed guy's body in the living room, and then as they're exploring, they get attacked by the men of ash and coal, and they're taken before the cylinder, in which alien spirits pretty much knock their souls out of their bodies and take over their bodies. So they're now unique monsters that I'll tell you about later on in the once we get to it. So it's just a great way to present the backstory, and I highly recommend this. It's got the years, it's got everything. It just looks great. I like it. And so it also is something that maybe once your players find out what's happened in this place, you could show them that, and they can be like, oh, that's cool. So there is it's kind of a hex crawl in the beginning, and then later on it gets into kind of like a normal dungeon, I guess I should say house crawl. And so there's a lot of cool stuff there. Some encounters to face out and around where the characters start. They start from the traveler's campsite. You can see there the little fire, little campsite icon, and then from there they can go a couple different directions. And like one of those is the troll cave, which I will spotlight here the art for. And this definitely reminds me of kind of like an older first edition AD&D adventure where you can kind of go out a little bit and see what's going on, but it's got it kind of fleshed out if you do go that direction, since it is a hex crawl. But I just love this art here, these trolls. I mean, it's just awesome. I love the look in their eyes, and they look nasty. They're chewing on some giant frogs, and I love it. I just think it's great. Cool little encounter. Nasty, of course. And you can see there at the bottom, lots of loot. And that's one thing about these Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea adventures. They just give a lot of loot, and they're real colorful, with gems and trinkets and stuff like that. I just really like it. You look through it, and you're just like, wow, that's a ton of loot, but that's fun, and that's exactly what you want in an adventure, and great magical items, of course. So later on, another one of the areas is this Cave of the Spiders. There's a new monster in it called Bandogs. Very cool, kind of hyena-like, but with men, I mean dog men, pretty much. So a great creature right there you could throw in Hyperborea in different areas or whatever campaign you've got. And they've kind of teamed up, these band dogs have kind of teamed up with these giant wolf spiders in this cave. And it's just a great little kind of cave exploration thing. So we're not at the manor yet, but we're still doing some neat stuff in some of these other encounters, which does lead to you heading towards the manor. The beginning traveler's campsite kind of introduces you to a couple of NPCs that explain why they're out there, and they're trying to find he's trying to find the manor as well. One of his companions has died. He has his body, and he is kind of like another extra little push for the players and the characters to get them towards the manor. And they're going to come across this. It's kind of on the way if you look at the map, and this is going to be just some fun encounters here. Great, again, with great loot and some neat magical items. And it's also going to have a little bit of a carrot that you find at the end, and that's going to be a kind of a in-game kind of crude map that someone drew of where the manor is. So little tiny things leading you on, and that's exactly what you need in the adventure. So here is the great kind of big fight at the end with this giant Kalaka Shan. That's the big giant mutated giant wolf spider boss. And then look at the loot there in the middle of the screen there. That's just awesome. Potion of diminutiveness, one large wing from a harpy. I mean, just like neat stuff. And then all those different types of gems and stuff like that, you know, just awesome. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a good fight, good area. So when you finally make it to the manor, here you've got this great Dale Tigler art showing you the manor. And I just love kind of like the, you know, looking through the spyglass, seeing it from afar, just the way that's laid out. And when the players get there, it's going to be it's being attacked by giant apes. So here's something very cool. The players more likely are going to be like, ooh, these apes are assaulting this manor. Let's go help whoever's in there possibly, and let's wreck these giant apes. Well, that's not actually so. Giant apes are trying to destroy, of course, the evilness that's in this place. And so it's going to be a little bit of a, afterwards, possibly like a, oops, maybe we shouldn't have dealt with those giant apes. But of course, they're still evil. And that's where the cover of the adventure comes from. You'll be like, oh man, I guess those guys were trying to stop this evil. And we, of course, wrecked them. But oh well, they probably needed it at some point anyhow, because they're horrible too. But it's just kind of a neat thing of Revelation where you're like, oh man, they're not actually trying to besiege the place. They're trying to get in there, you know, to stop the evil, and we're going to stop them first. So neat little thing. And then inside, you're going to have those two characters. And now what's happened with them is they're infused with these alien spirits. This is the guy, and of course, a great piece of art here. And he's going to be a very tough dude. There's a party of adventurers that came into the manor, and they're going to be kind of under the spell of this place. And so while there'll be NPCs you can interact with, they'll actually kind of backstab you a little bit. They're not on your side. They've been taken over by this dude, by this place, and it's going to lead to some cool just kind of interactions with the players and these NPCs that they're like, oh, well, maybe this is someone that's you know, helpful to me. Like, you were part of that group that this guy was looking for, but come to find out, their minds have been pretty much controlled, and it's not going to go well. Well, this guy is going to be cool. He's got certain powers and stuff, and he's a certain type of spirit. She, the other lady, the other thief that came into this place years ago, she's kind of a different one. So two different alien spirits here, and he's got some pretty good powers as well. So it's going to be a good fight against this dude. Lots of loot, and then here she is. She has kind of like, she almost goes like, you know, like a poison ivy type situation. She has control over plants. It's going to be a good fight, obviously, with her. Again, she's got some cool loot in that area, as well as cobras and snakes and stuff. But right there, she's a Setian, a purple lizard-like humanoid. And again, it's got that alien type of vibe with it later on. You might just be like, well, these are strange people, or what's wrong with them? But later on, you'll find, oh, okay, they've got these alien spirits in them. So I'm jumping through a lot of stuff here. I don't want to show you too much of it. So that girl that died early on, she was buried in a crypt, and there's a great area in the adventure where you go down and there's like the family crypt where you see where each one of them was buried, and there's a lot of loot and stuff in them. There's a ghoul. One of them has been turned into a ghoul, and you can fight the ghoul. And then later on, you find Layla, who is that young girl who died early on from the original settlers and creators of the manor, and she's been turned into a mummy. So if there's any, you know, here's a great chance and a great piece of art for you to have your players fight a mummy. She glows with green energy, and she's going to be very nasty. And again, this is 4 through 6 levels, so this is going to be just, I love those levels there. You can throw at them, stuff like this. and still throw in some easier stuff. But a mummy's kind of always something that, I'm going to fight a mummy, and this is going to be a great way to do it. We continue on, of course, down. They're going to finally go down underneath the manor, and this is going to be, I'll show you the map, but they're going to be going room by room, exploring, finding stuff, fighting some stuff here and there, remnants of the giant apes, and also some other critters that have shown up in here, like giant rats and stuff like that. But down deep below, underneath, of course, that's where the steel cylinder is, the alien cylinder. They're going to see this is where it rests. So it does have some new monster in it. This Scythe Automaton, pretty cool. Again, I've jumped over a bunch of stuff, and I think the map's definitely going to help you see kind of how it goes. And this Camulon, that's pretty much the guy who gets turned into it. It says here that that's the relative of the other, the Setian, and it explains kind of how they are, their powers that they have. So again, these are some new monsters that you can be able to throw at your adventures, and I love that art from Dale Tigler, just awesome. I love the way it looks, and a good write up for it. And of course, it's going to have the lady as well. Here's the selection of magical items. Again, I love the art. There's just some neat ones in here. This Amulet of Nyx, pretty much it protects you, but if you take damage, it says further any blow the wearer sustains will shatter the gem in a 1 in 4 chance, and then all of a sudden it casts darkness on you, but then whoever hits you, they get the contagion spell on them. So it's just got some neat stuff. The bracers of undeath are awesome. Very strong bracers, AC 4. They work as defensive bracers, but unless you're dabble in like necromancy and stuff like that, they're going to give you terrible dreams, and you won't be able to heal very well, but they're good for a character who does dabble in that stuff. So it's just, there's always neat magical items in these adventures. And then here's that hastily pinned map that I told you about that they're going to have to kind of lead you on. And, I like stuff like that. It's like, I like something you can be able to look at, give to the characters, and they're going to have to kind of be like, well, are we here? Are we there? I think we're here. Very cool. And then here's the Manor Upper Works. This is by Glenn Seal. Of course, he does a great job. Excuse me. So here it is. You can see the top level, all the stuff that's involved in it, and your players, again, they're going to go room by room. It's going to be great. And then here's beneath it where you'll see that they're going to find the tomb where the old family members are, and then go down. You can see that there's a pool of kind of like ichor. And then there's the cylinder. Here's the back of the adventure, and again, you can see that colored artwork of that of the lady, weird alien. So there it is, the Beasts of Kraggoth Manor. It's a neat adventure where you're gonna have kind of like some basic stuff. Oh, we're fighting spiders. We're exploring hex crawl trolls. So you get to the manor. Oh, with these giant apes, they're running amok. Let's deal with them, and then you'll find out, oh, there's something else much more sinister going on in here. And very nasty kind of, could be a very nasty battle. Of course, you're going to fight the men of soul, of ash and coal. And then, so, some of the choices you've made about who you've destroyed in there is going to affect the end with the cylinder. So, just a great adventure. So, yeah, to wrap up, I think this is an adventure that, for that type of level class, you want to definitely play it. So not too far from Chromarium, so that's going to be helpful. And overall, it's going to be a fun time for all. And I'll be looking at another adventure that came out around that same time in another video. But I hope you liked this video. Check out this adventure. They've done a great job on it. And I hope you watch the next video. Like always, like a broken record, like all these YouTube channels, like and subscribe. It helps me know that you're out there, and I do appreciate all the new subscribers to my channel as I try to do more videos for you. So there it is, the Beasts of Kraggoth Manor for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. That word salad there. Hope you've liked it, and check out the next video.